Meg, do we know if we're headed for another winter spike here?
Well, Shep, there is concern among some experts that the waves we're seeing across Europe could be a sign of what's to come heading into the winter for the U.S. And while a number of European countries are seeing surges, the worst death rates are in Eastern Europe, where the vaccination rates are lowest. Countries like Romania and Ukraine. The WHO's regional director for Europe last week pointing to waning vaccination rates and a relaxation of public health measures as reasons for the surges. Here in the U.S., there's been optimism that we're close to the end, as experts like Dr. Scott Gottlieb have pointed to January as a time we may be emerging from the worst of the pandemic. But Gottlieb also warns it's likely to get worse before it gets better as the U.S. works its way through the Delta wave. And while cases have plateaued nationally at just more than 70,000 per day, what that doesn't show is more localized surges and recoveries. In the South, the nation's hotspot in late summer, states now have some of the country's lowest transmission rates. The CDC data show that almost 70% of counties in the U.S. still have high levels of transmission, with another 17% considered substantial. Dr. Mike Osterholm from the University of Minnesota calls right now a tipping point for the U.S. and says he's closely watching a few regions seeing increases. States in the Four Corners area, the upper Midwest, and the Northeast. He's also closely watching New York and California, states he sees as bellwethers with their big cities. But there is an expectation that places with high vaccination rates or a lot of immunity from infection will see less severe disease. So public health experts are doubling down on the push for all to get vaccinated.